like a tiger out there.
I love it too.
Yeah, this Cuban side, expect a lot of high attacks. So they're not the kind of team that's going to add a lot of speed to their offense, but I'm excited to see how Bulgaria can slow them down, because you're going to see a lot of really high-hitting balls that come out of the stratosphere, I think is the way that Coach Karai described it.
All right, the man running the offense for Team Cuba is Julio Gomez, the 25-year-old setter. And the man with the ball in his hands, Asparuaf. We're underway. Bulgaria in red, Cuba in white. Concepcion attacking through the middle. Gutierrez psyching us all out with the ball that goes out of bounds. So first point, Cuba. Julio Gomez has taken over the starting duties at setter. And Nikolov is shut down. A big block. Masso over there and Concepcion.
And that's what you get when you move an opposite out, or excuse me, a middle out into the opposite spot. Masso just looking so comfortable. Look how the penetration is basically from his shoulders, his armpits, all the way flat over the net.
Nice start for Team Cuba, and this ball has just popped back up again. Nice reaction. And it is big block this time, led by Grozdanov for Bulgaria.
And the Moni Nikolov special going up, pretending he's going to take the ball, just letting it float over. So well worked by Cuba to recognize that and not let it score on them. But, I mean, that was a big block by Bulgaria.
And then the brother shines on the block, Alex Nikolov. Here's Masso from the left side, and he's going to score a point. You talked about how high he contacts the ball.
Yeah, he's extremely physical and athletic, and not just in his height. I mean, he's standing at over 2.4 meters, but he gets up and reaches at his peak to contact the ball, so the blockers are not even really in the same zone as he is.
Jose Gutierrez in a couple of big games earlier in the VNL. Here's Nikolov. Camino getting his first start at libero. Does a nice job, but it is the blocking of Bulgaria that shines again. Tatarov.
Oh.
Now we had getting a challenge here.
So the question here is whether or not the blockers touched the net before or after the ball touched the ground. It looked like it was pretty much, when you get a stuff block like that, there's not that much time between the ball leaving the hands of the blockers and ending up on the floor. But I think this is also an early warning for Cuba. We know they can be so aggressive and so high and hard hitting, but if that ball comes down, if Masso's swinging into the arms of the blockers, anyone can touch it.
Right now the scoreboard reads 3-2 Cuba. This is a group for Cuba on the team and mostly on the floor that we've seen a lot of in the last few years. A group that came close to qualifying for the Paris Olympic Games last year. Group that we expect to see at the World Championships later this year in the Philippines. So it's always a bit tricky to do this blocking situation, Key, because you've got to have two different videos. They've got to be synced up. You've got to see the block, touch, and the floor at the same time. So let's be charitable to the crew trying to sort all of that out in record time with everybody waiting for them.
It's still early, and it doesn't feel as though there was momentum one way or another. Right. So I don't think either team's going to be particularly worried about this cutting into their playing time. Meanwhile, I think Cuba had a really great second week. We saw them beat Germany, Serbia, Netherlands. They only lost to Argentina in 5, but I think they're coming into this week with a lot of momentum, let's say,
Yeah,
a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of confidence. This is a very dangerous team when they're confident as well.
I was lucky enough to be in Belgrade for that, and they came so close to really having a perfect week. You know, they could have went into that final game with a chance at a perfect 12-point week and ended up not quite doing it. So it's the ball down when the net touch happens. Oh, good challenge by Cuba.
It was worth a look, for sure.
Jose Miguel Gutierrez, the 21-year-old outside hitter. He's going to be playing with Robert Landi at Piacenza this year in Italy. Big, huge swing. Can Camino track this down? He can. And it's sent over by the setter Gomez. Bulgaria, through the middle they come. Camino with a nice dig. And they scramble around Cuba, but they can't pop it back up. Good perseverance by Bulgaria.
Love that rundown by Camino. I mean, look at this. Popping off the foot, having to go off to the sidelines to keep it in play. And you almost thought like this was going to be done and dusted right here. Free ball, almost a free point.
Gomez puts it up. Jan, kicks it back up. He's going to get another swing, and he's going to score. Oh, nicely done. He looked right at us and smiled.
He wants to make sure we recognize him for that one. I mean, Cuba are an unpredictable team, I think is one way to put it as well. They love doing it for the crowd, and that was exactly what he did there. He's popping it up with the foot, because why not? He's got skills all over.
With those awesome new orange shoes that he was showing off before the game. Good up from Gutierrez. Here's Jant. He's going to get another touch on it and another swing. Goes with the left hand, slams it down.
Jant is possibly one of the most impressive attackers in this entire VNL because of the range that he has. You'll see him get some absolute bombs when it's perfect, but when it's not, that's just a clever little push.
Here's Concepcion, his patented delivery on his serve. So often it's in and effective. That time it's just out.
Yeah, look, and we talked about errors, right? They're going to give up in the 20s, maybe even 30s of errors. It's just how can they outlast their team, the other team, in addition to making those errors.
Alex Nikolov. So you know he's always going to have the green light, and just misses that one long. He'll dial it back a bit later on. Jose Masso. 25-year-old's going to play in Greece this coming season. That looked like a good serve until it didn't.
Yeah, we won't start counting service errors until we're already well into the 10s, maybe even 20s for both these teams.
Here's Ilya Petkov getting his 9th straight start. That middle blocker. Gian off the hands. Moni sets it back for his brother Alex, and that was the perfect opportunity, and he hammers it from the back row.
Yeah, if any connection is going to be on, it's between these two. Almost telepathic.
You wonder, right? How many times they've played Pepper in the backyard and all the other things. There's another chance for Cuba to work. Masso comes from the back row, popped up by Simon. Here's Jant. Tried the left hand again, didn't work. Here's Nikolov, that worked. He's feeling it.
Yeah, when it comes to the Nikolov brothers, their father, Vladimir, played professionally in Italy, Japan, France, Turkey. I mean, he gives them this kind of skill. And so when you talk about players that maybe grew up literally with a ball in hand, these are those guys.
That means Petkov is serving again. Nice pass from Jant, so he's going to get a swing here, but he's shut down. Moni, Nikolov, and Grozdanov do the magic.
That's a huge and well-timed block, not only in terms of skill, but looking at the score as well.
Busca de la última mano para afuera. Este está haciendo gesto para la diagonal en el último momento. Éntrale de frente y cámbiale para la línea. Pero bien arriba para que te den la palma en la mano. Tranquilito. manda fuera. Se deja fuera igual si viene duro el saque. Lo que hay que salir, no podemos darle el lujo de permitirnos 3 cada uno seguidos. Vamos. 1, 2, 3.
Typically a man of few words, Jesus Cruz, but there he had quite a bit to say to his team.
I mean, Bulgaria have just gone on a 4-point run, so if anything, you would need to make sure they're siding out quickly. You cannot allow a team like Bulgaria to get in their groove, get in their rhythm.
Petkov comes again with the serve, and it creates an overpass. Another chance for Bulgaria to take the lead. Camino gets it up and over on 1. And Mahoney Nikolov, wee bit greedy there.
I mean, you can't fault him for doing it because we've seen him do it in real time. He's so crafty with the ball, and I think wanting to be a little bit more aggressive than maybe his body is allowing, still coming back from that injury.
Comes Marlon Yant. And the blocking of Robert Landy Simon. Welcome to the VNL.
That's what Simone does best. He patrols the net. He doesn't get there perfectly on time, but his hands are so well formed and pressed back into the center.
Petkov rattles it off the blocking hands, or at least Asparuov does. And that's a point for Bulgaria, smart one.
Yeah, Asparov, somebody that Bulgaria has relied on over the weeks. He always ends up in top scoring position or there or thereabouts.
Here's Moni, leads the team in aces. Out of system comes Gutierrez, and he hammers that so hard off the triple block that it's going to score for Cuba anyway.
3 blockers up. Gutierrez having to be smart there, knowing that if he goes with power and targets the fingertips, he'll have success.
Robert Landy Simon underestimated how good of a server he is. Bulgaria, that's more or less a free ball chance for Cuba. Oh, Gutierrez with the windmill. He might have missed it, though. He thinks he's got a touch on this.
I was convinced. I don't know about you.
I was mesmerized.
Yeah. It's impossible not to. Let's have a look in real time. Oh, that looks good to me. I mean, you won't see a finger move because he gets him on the wrist,
right.
But I think, yeah. I think it got maybe just the hairs.
I think it got a touch. The old micro touch, I think.
Again, we're not the referees. It's not up to us, but how convincing he was of the success has convinced me. And that's such a clever swing as well. I mean, just to have the wherewithal to wait. I mean, he has to kind of hold that ball in hand for a couple extra seconds before the arm on the other side is in the perfect position for him to use.
So Katarzyna Sokol, the challenge referee, making that call. The first referee in the game, by the way, is Stanislava Simic. Sung Kai-hyun is the second referee as well.
Bisogna che le facciamo. Stichiamo la battuta corta. Una la riceve il centrale in the middle of the court. The second è out of the court. And we know, okay? This is a match that will be decided for 1 ball. We must do what we do.
There just isn't a lot of room for error in this match, is there, Keith?
Yeah, I don't think so, because they're pretty well matched, these two teams, and in terms of who gets that little bit of a run can make all the difference. I was just laughing because Gian Lorenzo speaking to his team in Italian, because a lot of those players in there have played there.
Middle attack, it goes off Concepcion and out, so nice swing. Asparuov. 24-year-old outside hitter, taken by Camino, but it's just saved by the setter, Gomez. Here's Masso. He saves the play for Cuba. They were in a bit of trouble.
I love seeing Masso used as an outlet setter or attacker, set to him as an attacker, because he's always ready. You never see him look shocked by the ball coming in his direction.
Here's Gomez serve. He'll look to dial that one back when he gets a chance a little later on. These two teams met in the third week of the VNL last year as well. It was Cuba winning that 3-0. The script hasn't been written for this one yet, but the blocking has risen to the occasion for Bulgaria. Tatarov. And Petkov involved in that one. 11 serving 12. Alex Grozdanov won the championship in Poland this year with Lublin. There's Concepcion with the hammer.
I mean, that's a statement swing, if ever I've seen one. Concepcion, who just kind of missed out on that last block. Plenty of space for him to go cross and through the arms of, or the legs, I should say, of the middle on the other side.
So Cuba's been missing consistently long here. They'll get it dialed in, I guess.
Yeah, and that's kind of to be expected. They've got 0 aces, 4 errors at the moment, but they're, like we mentioned, a high-risk, high-reward team.
Tatarov's serve taken well by Gutierrez. Masso, this time from the front row. Easier, a little easier to attack, maybe, maybe not. He scores.
Yeah, and see, even that ball, it's not perfectly in his wheelhouse. He's looking a little funky on it, but still looks for the seam between the blockers.
Yeah, pretty effective. Alex Nikolov goes with the tip. Clever play, sneaks it by Masso, looks across the net.
Cuba had to take a little something off the serve there. Had been 1, 2, 3 errors piling up. So you saw Concepcion just put it in play, and that's the danger, though, because Bulgaria will handle that easily.
Star at Lube Civitanova. Here's Alex Nikolov, ripping one. Didn't miss by much, but he did miss.
I don't think coach can be upset about that. That's a couple of inches, maybe a couple of hairs. That's an aggressive miss.
I agree. That's a good miss. Here's Masso. Middle attack. Gutierrez has got it up. Masso's going to do the setting. Triple block by Bulgaria. Now they're going to come with Alex Nikolov, who sneaks it through the block and through the defender.
Cuba's been doing some pretty good little chicken wing defenses so far, popping things up. But I think the key for Bulgaria is to play their game, not to get too rattled when these balls come back their way.
See if Cuba can find Robert Landy-Simon through the middle. But that's not a good pass. And just try as he might, no way that Camino's going to track that one down.
It's a good point you make about the middle. We haven't seen a whole lot of attack there, really for either side. We know that Cuba's relying on their pins a lot, but if they can get that middle involved, they become really difficult to play against.
Petkov had a really nice service run earlier. All tied at 15 here. Masso just skies up. He's dug. This is going to be a free ball chance, though, for Cuba. Here it comes. Maybe not. Masso has to back up. And the attack line violation against Bulgaria. I think it was on Tatarov.
Yeah, and Bulgaria really can't afford those kind of errors. We're on a knife's edge right now in terms of score going back and forth. You'll see it just a toe, maybe just a toenail.
So that one does miss as well from Marlon Young. Not by much, but Cuba still having a little issue with serve receipt, but here they are, battling 16-16. Moni Nikolov, 11 aces in the VNL so far in 2025. Saw him win a set in Quebec earlier this year with back-to-back aces to end it. Just spectacular. Here comes Simon. 38 years young, 5 wins in as best middle in the Italian league. And good job by Bulgaria to get that off the block to score.
We were just talking about needing a little more middle, and maybe this isn't quick middle, but it's middle up the pipe at least, using that zone, that area of the court.
I'm sure they want to get Alexander Nikolov going. Better pass by Cuba. And Masso has missed the touch on the block, so Bulgaria gets a break point. Interesting that that came with one of the better passes that Cuba has had.
Yeah.
Asparuov floats it deep, and Camino leaves it at the last moment.
I see, that's less of a good miss. If you're a coach and you see someone floating it just out the back, and it wasn't just, it was almost a meter out the back, that one you got to get in.
Julio Gomez, who plays in Slovenia. Oh my, there's the middle attack we've been asking for, Alex Grozdanov.
And you don't even expect it, because Moni doesn't even jump, so the blockers are really playing that cat and mouse game with him. Where's that ball going? He's so hard to read.
Interesting. Masso showing he can swing from everywhere, because we know he can do it from the right and the middle, and that's going to be a big point for Bulgaria. They are just battling here.
Nikolov, no fear. And Masso reaching a little bit, giving him that space.
Uh-oh. Trouble for Cuba. Here comes a timeout for Jesus Cruz. They're down by 3.
No tiene que ser bonito, no tiene que ser específico. Alto y para el centro del terreno y vamos a resolver el problema. Está sacando ahí entre la 6 y la 1. Hay que darle solución a ese servicio ahí. Él no va a cambiar, va a seguir para la misma zona, va a seguir la misma dirección. Avanzamos la línea y métale la mano alto y para el centro, alto y para el centro. Más nada que eso, vamos. Dale, dale. 1, 2, 3.
Alto and al centro. High and in the middle. I think that's what I got from it. My Spanish is not great, but I think coach is just saying, hey, we got to take care of that ball. Just put it somewhere up in the middle. He knows his team are good at out-of-system, high balls. They can use that strength. It doesn't have to be perfect, right, but not making an error, not getting aced.
Alex Grozdanov. Good job by Gutierrez to tool it off the block. Gutierrez, the kind of player who can get hot. He's loading up now. 19 serving 21.
It's wild to say, but Gutierrez, one of the undersized players on this Cuban team at 194. You wouldn't be undersized anywhere else in the world except on this volleyball court.
Tatarov. Middle attack, perfectly executed by Concepcion.
How about the little roundhouse swing there for Concepcion? I mean, we knew we needed to see a little bit more middle, and especially in a moment like that, it's a one-on-one. The ball's pushed a little far from the seto. He's able to choose where he wants to go. Plenty of space there.
Cuba uses this switch in every match. Osniel Magarejo, the former captain of the team, so consistent in his serves. And that's Nikolov, as in Alexander Nikolov, is going to score off the block.
That's a great point for Bulgaria. Again, you're going up against Masso and Robert Landy Simon, two of the best blockers on this Cuban side. He does really well to stay high and swing for the top.
Buckle up, here comes Alex Nikolov, but he missed that by quite a bit. But again, an aggressive miss, key.
Yeah, and you kind of have to be aggressive at this level. I mean, neither team can afford to give lollipops to the other. It's just going to come back right back down your throat if you do.
Alex, by the way, has 9 points to lead all scorers. Here's Masso. That one never had a chance. Set point, Bulgaria. They've got 3 of them to work with. Ilya Petkov. 5 aces in the VNL this season. Good up from Jan. Middle attack from Simon. This is how long it took in the set to get that going.
I mean, you love to see it, but even that felt like it was a little low for Simon. Look how bent his elbow is. Luckily, it was pushed from the setter, so there was a bit of space at the net.
Arlen Jan picks a little off it. Alex Nikolov couldn't finish. Here's middle attack. It worked last time. Why not go right back to Robert Landy Simon?
And that's exactly what he brings. You see how quickly he gets up in the air. He's just waiting for the setter to throw it into his wheelhouse.
Net, short, after timeout, they have a lot of mistake, okay? Be ready to read, don't start before, okay? Give Moni the possibility to set with his idea and his time, okay? Okay, guys, remember, play smart.
Interesting to hear how well Gian Lorenzo trusts his setter. He says, I need him to be able to run his game. He's not trying to feed him what to do. He's just saying, get him the ball so he can do what he needs.
Right, give him time. See if they can get a good pass on this Marlon Yant serve. And we've got a net touch on Cuba, and that's how the set will end. Bulgaria takes it 25-23 over Cuba. Intriguing start.
Yeah, it felt as though that was really balanced there in the middle of that set, going back and forth. You really couldn't name one way or another which way it was going to go. And all of a sudden then, Bulgaria kind of took a couple of points there, and that's really all it took. Here's a look at the numbers. 9 errors given up by Cuba, 7 of them were from the serve. So can you imagine a Cuban team where they're not just handing those balls from the end line? They could absolutely compete with and possibly beat anyone.
Well, and Bulgaria's head coach Blengini reminded us who they beat in the first week of the VNL, where they beat them. They beat Brazil in Rio.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately for Cuba, that was their only win of week number 1, but they bounced back with a 3-win week in Belgrade to build lots of momentum towards this. Have a chance, really, but so does Bulgaria, in with a chance to go to the final 8.
Well, you mentioned you wanted more middle, and this is why Cuba's not getting it. The center contact just is not good enough. Not a lot of balls going in that tiny mini circle, whereas you look on Bulgaria's side, a little bit better, but again, both teams 17% outside of that circle. Those are the balls that have to be high balls. Those are outlet balls. So neither team's really, and we've only seen the middle a handful of times on both sides.
And so often we'll see a set, a game or a set will begin with a few, passes to the middle, sets to the middle, and it seems like that's the way teams want to establish things early on, and we didn't really see that.
Yeah, and the importance of establishing your middle is that then you don't have 2 blockers, 3 blockers up on the pin, so you can, when it is a difficult time, you are able to use those outlet attackers, and they'll have a little bit more freedom at the net because you've established another zone. But right now, except there at the end though, we saw Robert Landy Simon get a couple of balls in a row. now Bulgaria really have to respect that zone.
Robert Landry-Simon, one of the cheerleaders on his team, kind of gathering everybody on the floor as we speak on the middle of your screen there, and reminding everyone what the job is, what each player's job is. Same group starting for Cuba, and it looks like the same group starting as well for Bulgaria. Interesting for Bulgaria, they're starting opposite in the game because they have used, in the other games, Venislav Antov has been the starter in the first 8 games, and not the case today with Georgi Tatarov, who was a substitute for the first couple of weeks of the VNL, but now gets a chance to be the starter. Number 12 is in the front row right now. Here we go, second set. Cuba trying to serve better in the set. That's not the way they wanted to get it started. Bulgaria's captain, Alex Grozdanov. Masso off the hands, he's gonna score.
Again, a nice high swing for Masso. He's got plenty of time for that ball to reach him. Too much, not enough time if you're in the defense.
Here's Gutierrez, watch this. There's Tatarov. Well, we talked about just starting, getting his first start of the season. That is actually his first point of the match, so they want to get him involved. He's serving now. Good take from Gutierrez. Middle attack from Concepcion. I'm not sure it was perfectly timed, but he was.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not going to be pretty, especially through the middle. You're going to get a lot of balls that maybe aren't exactly in the timing and correct, but I like that he just hangs in the air. He sees the blockers diving in one direction, and he throws it the other way.
Smart play, number 5 for Cuba, Concepcion. And big block that time. Masso and Robert Landry-Simon get it on Nikolov. That was a tough set.
Yeah, a little bit of a trap set, and especially a little bit wide. He's having to get that a bit low. It's already in the arms of the blockers.
I feel like he was looking at his brother just as he was finishing the set. Almost an overpass, but Bulgaria recovers. Pancake dig from Concepcion. Yant trying to save the play, but instead the triple block shuts it down.
Nikolov on Yant, and the two of them were teammates in Civitanova back in 2023, so that one has got to have a little extra spice on it as well. How about this pancake, first of all, from the middle? Middle's defense counts for 2, right?
That's how it works, yep. Yeah. Nikolov working on a 10-point game already serving. And Robert Landy's missed. No, he's got it. He's just got it. Sorry, I doubted you, sir.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd be hard-pressed, I think, for Simon to have a miss. He knows the court so well at this point.
Yeah, like the back of his hand.
He's looking through the net like, come on, guys.
Good pass by Bulgaria. That sets it up well for Nikolov. Yant's going to try to save this, but he won't. A little too much heat on it, not enough angle. (4-4), set 2. Here's Petkov. Oh, good. Bettering the ball was the setter, and then Yant took a little off it, just the right amount.
Sometimes those are the hardest ones. Langini's not happy about it, but sometimes those are the hardest ones to deal with because, look, the block is pretty well formed. Asparov just reaching forward at the last minute.
Langini couldn't believe it. Here's Marlon from the end line, took something off that. Almost saved by Camino.
Both teams are attacking exactly 47% right now. That's wild.
Float serve from Moni Nikolov. Back row attack from Marlon Yunt. We haven't seen much of that at all.
Yeah, neither team really going to the backcourt attack as much as they might like to. And again, especially when you've got Simone who's pulling the block with him. They've established him. Now is the perfect time to use that backcourt.
Here comes Simone's serve.
Now I'm starting to count the errors. I think we're up to 9 on Cuba's side.
Yeah, I think you waited the appropriate length of time. Asparuov. Good up from Camino. Concepcion was fading away from that. Trying again to get a point. Gutierrez working hard at the net. Cuba's blocking outstanding, but Bulgaria still going. Finally hits the ground.
Man, Concepcion had to work hard for that rally. He was all over the net. Bulgaria really disciplined, and they've recycled 1, 2, 3 times, but eventually just wanting it too much.
That should have been worth more than 1 point, I think, for Concepcion.
And he got some ego boost as well.
Good serve from Gomez. Bulgaria's got it, though. Here they come. Tatarov with the heater.
He's a bouncy fella. He jumps pretty springy for his size, and if you can get up early, again, the blockers are getting out there, but there's so much line.
Masso facing the triple block, and I think he's missed. No, he's got a touch on it, and no challenge coming from Bulgaria.
I think it was the blockers in the net that he got. So a bit of luck there for Masso, but he was kind of forced in that direction because there were 3 of them up. There was no more real estate on that side for him to go for.
Yunt involved with that block to push it back on the the Bulgarian side, and then Alex Nikolov just couldn't. I think he bit off a bit more than he could chew.
Yeah, Bulgaria losing a little bit of patience here. Cuba are making them go 2, 3 times in the same rally, and if you try to finish it when it's not there, that's when you see those errors creep in.
Let's see if Cuba can build on this 9-7 lead. Gutierrez a little bit closer than his last one, but Tatarov played in Italy last year. Here's Masso, and he just tools it off the block like it's no big thing.
It is no big thing, Rob. Easy peasy lemon squeezy when you're Masso, when you're 2 meters and 4. It's not just his height, though. I mean, that's great court vision. I don't want to take anything away from him. Just he has the physicality for it, but also the high volleyball IQ.
Yeah, good point. Concepcion with the serve. Middle attack. And Bulgaria needed that, I think, from Ilya Petkov.
There's the backcourt. That's, oh, it was through the middle. I thought it was from the backcourt. Excuse me. Simone also waiting just a little extra.
Yeah, you middle blockers think alike, right? You both,
yeah. He was hedging his bets, right? Because it was a perfect ball. He's thinking, okay, now's the time they might use the backcourt.
Cuba on the hunt for a break point. Masso serving. And they might get it here. Robert Landy wanted that. Instead, he just recycles it. And then he tries to tip it, and he gets a net touch on Bulgaria, and he gets the point after all.
The discipline's lacking ever so slightly in the net play on Bulgaria's side, because that felt like an opportunity. The set was really low to Simone on the first one. They got a good touch. He gets the set again. Still not the perfect set for him. He can reach much higher than that. Just a little too eager to get on it.
This is the first week that Robert Landy Simon has been with the new setter Gomez, so keep an eye on that. Tandike is the one on the bench who would have more experience playing with Robert Landy. Simon. It's been a pretty good rotation for Bulgaria with Petkov serving. Alex Nikolov in the back row. A little better connection. It works on the paintbrush, more or less.
Yeah, Simone having to have a giggle there because he got the height that he wanted. Just a little floof on it. Look how quick Gutierrez is right behind him as well.
Just in case Robert Landy missed it, he was going to take it. This is going to create an overpass. Gomez had his teammates thinking he was going to play that. They all called him off emphatically.
There's the ace serve that Cuba have been waiting for. It's a 1-to-10 ratio right now, but when they get it, that's why it's so tough to handle.
Gomez saying, I was never going to play that, you guys. Don't be silly.
Easy things, okay? Easy things. They play, you know, okay? You know how. They have too many mistakes, they go on short. They have too many problems in attack, 2 blocks, tips, variation timing, and we did net touch, the ball pass. We jump, wait, and easy thing. You know, with Concepcion, the position 1 must stay short, play in our style, in our rhythm, but take the opportunity.
A little bit of a frustrated Chico Blangini there.
Yeah, and I think you can see why the errors are piling up on his side. Cuba's not earning it.
Marlon Young. Oh, did he get it? He got it! There it is.
That's the way to earn it if you're Cuba. Yant looking for the seam between 2 players. That's the best place to serve because 2 players have to look at each other and decide, is it yours or mine?
Loading up again is Marlon Yant. Takes a little off at this time. Oh, good job by Camino. Pushed up to the net. Gutierrez recycles it. Simon wants to set it. Here comes Gutierrez. He's shut down on the triple block. I think Moni Nikolov got it.
Man, was there any time between that ball coming off the hands and going straight into the hardwood? That's the best block we've seen all night. Denied.
Wow. Asso was ready for that and hammers it from the back court.
Yeah, great response by Cuba. I feel like they needed to just immediately shut the door after a big block from Bulgaria. That's the way to respond.
All right. Here comes Robert Landy Simon. Set by the other Nikolov brother, and then it's sneaked down to the floor by Tatarov.
Great work by Bulgaria to get out of this. That was a tricky serve from Simon. He got the setter somehow. I don't know that I've ever seen the setter take the first ball, but Nikolov's out of the offense. The blockers knew where it was going. It, in theory, should have been an easy point for Cuba.
I guess Alex wanted to show he knows how to set as well. But Bulgaria just can't take advantage of these last few opportunities, and now they're down by 5 again. And that's why they have called a timeout.
Easy thing. Now, you must promise. No net touch, no confusion in one jump on block, one no, one decide to take off the ends. No, okay? With service. Float service is not free ball. In the net, okay? It is on where you know it's 10 days that you know.
Bulgaria has found a way to win some huge games this year, you know, beating Slovenia, beating Japan, beating Argentina and Germany. All teams ranked above them in the standings.
Yeah, in those matches that you mentioned, Bulgaria had 9 blocks against Japan, 11 against Slovenia, 9 against Turkey. I mean, this is a team that does a really good job of slowing down their opponent. So far, they've already got 5 on Cuba.
Oh, wow. Well, Blencini was talking about Concepcion's previous attacks. That was nothing like that.
How do you slow that down? How do you, just the speed and height that's coming up, Petkov has to jump in the exact same time as Concepcion if he wants to stop it.
And another ace. Gutierrez this time, and his bench is hooping it up.
How about that? It's the short serves with very little pace that are the ones that are causing so much trouble. After Cuba going for the bullets, looking for those really hard-driven serves, these are the ones that are causing Bulgaria trouble.
Tatarov coming out of the game. Coming in is Venislav Antov. He's the one who started at opposite in every other game in the VNL this year. Jose Miguel Gutierrez. Wow! Does he do it again? Yes, he does!
This is exactly what we talked about. This Cuban side can be so lethal when they start to rein in those errors. And look at the change of direction. He looks like he's going cross-court, then he flicks it back down the line. So hard to read.
I think I saw a fist pump from Jesus Cruz. Just a little one. Just, you know, he was kind of muted a little bit. All right, Venislav Antov, 14 serving 20 though. Bulgaria needs to go point by point here to try to claw their way back into the set. Jant, who hasn't really had too many chances to do that, and you know he's just waiting to do it.
Yeah, Jant was relatively quiet in the first set. He only had 2 points. He's already, in this second set, got 4. Great swing, high off the hand. He's got 3 blockers in front of him. That's a clever swing.
Yeah, now over 150 points for the VNL. Into the game comes Martin Atanasov. Best outside hitter in the Champions League on 2 occasions. Magarejo off the bench to serve. And another big block. Jant and Simon go up together and get rewarded, and they're all smiles on the Cuban side. So we know there was a net touch, but we don't know when it occurred in relation to the ball hitting the ground.
There have been a couple of these already, haven't there? But it's Cuba giving up the net touch this time, and Bulgaria will be happy to take it if they do get this point. Cuba in such a healthy position right now, though, at 22-14. They can afford to make an error at the net. I think if they're this team, they'd rather say, yep, take the point, let's move on. We don't want to lose our momentum here. I don't know about that. Yeah, that looks like it might have just been the ball.
It's all good. Point stays with Cuba. They're in the driver's seat here, big time, 22-14, with Osniel Magarejo ready to serve. Several best server awards throughout his career. Good keep up from Gomez. So it's Jant setting it. And nice swing from Entov.
The key for Bulgaria right now is not to give up any free points to Cuba. They already have such a lead. You got to play super clean in these last couple of points. Be aggressive from the service line. Make sure that Cuba cannot run their middle, so you're only focused on a couple of pin areas.
Yeah, you don't know if you can come back. You probably can't, but build some momentum and get some good things going. The man who leads the match in scoring has the ball in his hands now, Alex Nikolov. 11 points so far. Good up from Camino. Here's Masso, hammers it cross court, 23-15.
I love that long distance set from Cuba, pushing that ball all the way back to the pin. The blockers have already moved across the net a little bit with the reception. That's a long way to go to close it up back.
Jordan Bisset has just come into the game for Cuba in the front row. So they had no setter on the floor, and now they're going to bring in Tundike. Meanwhile, Bulgaria trying to build on that point, see what else they can do here. Petkov. And it is set point, Cuba. First set was so close all the way through. It was Bulgaria prevailing at the end. This one, not so much. Here's Jant serving for the set. Kept alive by Tundike. Oh, nice set. Gutierrez off hands on the triple block. And the block is the way this set ends. Simon and Gutierrez go to work, and Cuba wins it. What a win, and what a finishing block.
Excellent awareness by the blockers on Cuba's side. They knew where that ball was going early, and they detonated. But the difference for me in this set was exactly what we talked about. Imagine if some of those errors in the serve became aces. That's exactly what we saw. 4 aces and only 5 errors, as compared to the first set, 0 aces and 7 errors in serve. And that makes the difference for Cuba, and that's why you see this difference in scores. But at the same time, adding a couple of blocks there, keeping their errors lower, just completely out attacking. I mean, that entire set in the stats belonged to Cuba.
Yeah, you're right. Everything on the left side was all higher, favoring Cuba.
Sometimes when you have interviews with coaches, you say, what do you want to improve? And they say everything. Well, that's exactly what Cuba did.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough as we get a chance, as Matt Prosser gets a chance, that is, in mere moments. Try to chat with one of the coaches and then one of the other coaches.
Look at the spike direction from each side. I think Cuba's been doing a good job of switching it up. So when they're attacking, there aren't really as many blocks happening in the second set for Bulgaria. They only ended up getting 2 because Cuba are switching things up. They're showing us a lot of range in their direction that they're hitting, both line and cross.
Good atmosphere at the Ergo Arena. Second of 3 matches on the day. And we're going to hear from one of the assistant coaches for Team Bulgaria in mere moments. In fact, he is standing by with Matt Prosser.
Okay, Coach, you guys leveled the match after a very good opening set. What do you need to do differently now going into set number 3?
I think they put a little bit pressure on us with their serve in the second set. From our side, we didn't do really well in our serve second set, so I think we need to be in this part of the game more precise, because they have problem in reception. So we need to find our rhythm there.
Any other changes your side is offensively, perhaps?
Probably okay. We'll see.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Don't want to give away too much. You never know who's listening.
Real close to the chest.
Jesus Cruz has got to be happy with the way his team responded, serving-wise. And he is standing by right now with Matt Prosser.
Okay, Coach, what was the difference there between sets 1 and 2 for your team to level this match?
In the first set was many fouls in the service. We have a difference, 4 points. We lost the set, and the second set we went better. The service, better the block, and the attacking generally.
Any other keys to your performance going forward?
No, we have to keep playing on this way. Only that.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to keep playing like we're playing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear from those stats what went well, but on Bulgaria's side, you talked about Nikolov being the top scorer with 11 points. 9 of them came in the first set, only 2 in the second. So not only are Cuba increasing their service pressure, getting their blocks in better position, but they've shut down the #1 scorer. So now Bulgaria have to find some other pieces that are going to work, other areas that they can score from.
Yeah, that's a very astute point by you.
That's all I do. I'll make astute points.
It's good. Is that on your resume? You should put that on there.
Some of them are stupid and some of them are just astute.
No, they're not. None of them are that. 6 points for this man in his first VNL match of 2025, always smiling, helping to lead his team. Remember, he brought them all together just before that last set, and they came out like a house on fire. The man who told us in the press conference this week that Robert Landy Simone is one of his heroes. I asked him the question at the press conference, just looked over right beside him and said, well, that's easy, this guy. And the two of them having a chance to shine and star on center stage at the Volleyball Nations League in Gdańsk. I know I repeated that story, but it's one of those stories that's so good. You gotta tell it twice.
And I think it's so cool that that's exactly what this international stage does for players that maybe never get to play against each other in their club or their professional seasons. They might never cross paths, but to be able to get out on this stage together, whether it's on the same court, if they're on the same national team, or across the net from each other,
right.
It's awesome. Grozanov, also one of those players who played out in Italy as well. He played at Verona, he played at Monza, so they know each other well.
And we're underway, set number 3. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece. Masso is blocked, recycled by Cuba, and then the shutdown block on the triple block, Grozdanov.
Huge triple block there for Bulgaria. There's a tiny bit of space for Gutierrez to see, but the blocker's really well disciplined.
Good early call on that one. Into the game for Bulgaria starting is Atanasov in this third set. Bulgaria using multiple liberos. Gomez takes it at number 14, Bozhelov. And Grozdanov misses this one on the angle. We're gonna get a challenge here.
Challenge, not for in or out, because you can't challenge that. It's given by Volt 6 clearly on an iPad to the referee, but they're challenging for net touch. Interesting. I'm not sure I saw anything in real time.
Well, they were pretty adamant about it as soon as that one was missed. Langini hoping it goes his way, even though it's still early days here in the third set. Must be, you know, to use a challenge this early, must be pretty convinced.
Yeah, 2-1. It's not as if either team's gone on a run or either team has momentum, but I think Bulgaria's recognized you can't give anything for free to Cuba.
Or did they call a net touch on the Bulgarian attacker, Gdańsk? I think maybe that's what happened. I could be wrong.
Well, the ball was definitely shown out.
Right.
And the point was given to Cuba.
Right. So they think there's attack on the block. Yeah, you're right. That's why I have experts with me.
I mean, I've already forgotten it was so long ago. I feel like
that's my
it's already
problem
gone
too.
from my brain.
What was the play we were talking about?
Where are we? What country am I in?
Yeah, well, for some of us, like you and I, it's our 5th or 6th stop, so. But we love it all.
Love it.
Change it for the world.
100%. Yeah, it's so fun. It's a complete honor to just even sit courtside and see this level of volleyball, and sometimes I have to catch myself as I'm nitpicking at the things that are going on court, you know. Slightly ill-disciplined in the block and they get a block touch, you know. These are some of the most physical, athletic humans in the world.
And you and I in our lives, we don't have anything slightly undisciplined. Everything
Absolutely
is completely
not.
disciplined.
100%. Yeah.
At all times, for sure. All right, well, the plot thickens. They're just 3 points into set number 3, trying to determine if we've got a net touch here.
Yeah, and keeping in mind the bigger picture as well, Cuba sitting at 10th, Bulgaria sitting at 12th. I mean, the importance of this match to set the stage for this week. One of these two teams still potentially in the running for the top 8.
So the question is not whether there is a net touch or not, it's when does it happen. So it didn't happen soon enough for Bulgaria. It happened at exactly the right time. Let's listen to the referee, Simic.
After your review, net touch after ball lands on floor, no fault.
So point to Cuba. The attack missed. There was no net touch while the ball was in play. And off we go. The 25-year-old setter, Julio Alberto Gomez. Only sets it up for the right side for Tatarov. He couldn't score. He gets involved in the blocking. Gutierrez, and there's no touch here. Is Cuba thinking about challenging this? No.
Oh, that's close. He could feel the breeze on his fingers, that's for sure. Gutierrez making a good choice there. That's the line, that's the available area for him to go for.
And who won a Polish league title last year with Lublin. Gdańsk puts the ball in play. Here's Masso. Gdańsk gets it back up. Here's Nikolov, and he's going to score with that one.
Cuba have been so good at picking up those hard-driven balls, throwing an arm out, getting a defense here or there. I think the off-speed could work better. This is something that Bulgaria haven't really tested yet.
Gdańsk comes again with the serve. Gomez sets it up for Masso, reaches up and over the block and sneaks it to the floor.
So a bit of off speed from both sides. Taking a page out of Bulgaria's book here. Blockers are in a good spot though. I mean, that's a little bit wide. He's having to reach. It's tough.
Everybody's involved in the clapping. Here comes Gutierrez. 3-3 tie, set number 3. Nikolov tools the block, and Masso's smiling about it. What can you do? Got an all-world outside hitter coming down at you.
Yeah, he just catches that split second before Masso's block closes up. Good vision.
Georgi Tatarov. Good up from Gutierrez. Here's Jan. Finds the corner. See if they get him involved a little more in this set. Jan's often that guy, Key, who you see early on he's got 5 points, whatever, and then all of a sudden you get in the 4th or the 5th set and you go, hey, he's got 18, he's got 22.
Yeah. Sneaks up on you.
Alex Nikolov gets shut down by the big block of Cuba again. That is their 7th block point of the match.
And we talked about this being one of the strengths of the Cuban side, even more so now that Simon is in the mix. Nikolov thinking there was some space there when it wasn't.
Concepcion bringing the heat with the serve. And that's going to go off the hands of the blocker from Tatarov. You're so close, Key, that sometimes the players block each other's numbers. I can't even read them. Loving it, though. Eventually, as Matt said, we're going to get a ball in our vicinity at some point this week.
You'll have to play defense because I'm a middle.
Gutierrez does well to score that from the pipe.
There's the pipe. Little bit of that was working earlier for both sides. I think, again, each side can use a little more of that pipe, a little more of the middle, just distributing it through different zones.
Jose Masso waits for that whistle. Best middle blocker in the German league last year. He didn't miss by much there to the corner.
I love that. Best middle blocker, mind you, of the German league.
He's an outside. He's an opposite, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, he can play outside too. He's that versatile.
Throw him in libero, why not? Put a jersey on him. I mean, the other middle is in libero jersey on the sidelines. Thiago Mendoza.
Well, Camino, their libero, is an outside hitter. Here's Atanasov, goes deep with that tip, and that's got Bulgaria celebrating.
So we found the Achilles heel of the Cuban side. Off speed rolls and tips. Masso coming in for it. He read it early. He sees that there's 3 blockers up and that the arm is slowing down. It's a great push.
Gomez even pulled those arms out of the way. Here's Petkov. Good up from John. Yeah. Good dig though from Tatarov. Atanasov off hands. Gutierrez waiting on it. Good punch over by Jan. Nikolov. He's feeling it again here in the 3rd set.
Yeah, a player like Nikolov can't really afford to have an entire bad night. You can have a bad set or just, you know, go away from your game a little bit, but he's got to figure out how to get back into it, and that's a great start.
Gomez somehow ended up in the middle of that block. Here's Petkov. Good up, but this is tight. Pushed up on the air by Simon, and then Jan just didn't quite have what he wanted. So Bulgaria rolling, timeout call, Cuba.
Concentrar en la calidad de las acciones nuestras. Calidad en las acciones nuestras. Pensar en el K1, el saque ellos ahora empezaron a tratar de meterlo en el terreno con el saque saltando. No tiene nada del otro mundo, garantizar la pelota ahí, a ver si podemos jugar por el centro del terreno. Jugamos por el centro, funcionó, hay que recibir para jugar por el
hasn't called a lot of timeouts in this game, but when he has, Jesus Cruz has seen his team be effective coming out of those. So let's see what happens here in this third set. I'm always amazed, Key, with the ebbs and flows of the game. You know, it seems like Cuba had everything their way in that second set, and why don't they now?
Yeah, they're not passing as well as they were, and again, we haven't seen as much middle involved. And on this flip side, their serve hasn't been causing Bulgaria so much trouble as it did in that second set.
So that is a sigh of relief breathed on the Cuban side with the miss. Comes Marlon Jan, leading the team in scoring throughout the Volleyball Nations League. Atanasov tries the tip, and that's going to score. Masso thought he'd got it up enough, but Gomez couldn't track it down.
Again, the off speeds, the rolls, the tips, this is where Cuba are starting to struggle, and even a one-on-one, maybe even more so when it's a one-on-one, because Masso's waiting, he's hanging it back, he's expecting that hard driven ball. That's even harder to get in for.
Here comes Moni Nikolov, the 18-year-old. Won't have his 19th birthday until November. Middle attack from Robert Landy Simon. That's what Cuba needs to get going, maybe.
Yeah, Cuba, we haven't seen them utilize Simone as much as they'd like to, but he's such a lethal threat when he does.
And his serve creates an overpass. Gutierrez recycled again. Here comes Jant from the back row, but he's over the attack line. Both referees were all over that.
I feel like it was Bulgaria plagued by these small errors in the first couple of sets, and now it's Cuba who's getting them creeping in.
Martin Atanasov. Concepcion off. I don't know if it went off the blocker, but it went off Moni Nikolov.
That's a beautiful change of direction by Concepcion. You see how he's pulled to the left side of the court. He gets up there, he's with his setter. Blockers are in a good position, he turns it back the other way. Yeah, even Blangini gives it the thumbs up.
There you go. So Cuba trying to create some service pressure, and that puts it into the net for Gomez. Bozdanov decides to switch up where he's going to serve from. Gutierrez tips it off the block. Good attempt by Tatarov, but he can't collect it.
Now it's just volleyball IQ versus volleyball IQ. It's not power, it's not arm speed. It's who is going up and recognizing the opportunities to put something a little softer and a little uncomfortable on the other side.
Here comes Gutierrez. Well, this back to what we saw in the first set again with Cuba firing it into the net and firing it long. 13 serving 10. Bulgaria trying to climb back into the driver's seat in the match. Concepcion hammers that one, goes down on a tumble afterwards.
Gutierrez just sacrificing his body to put that ball perfectly in the hands of his setter. I mean, you see that jump even timed well by Petkov, and he has to be earlier than that to beat Concepcion.
Here's Concepcion's serve. Picked up by the libero, Bozhelov, hammered from Bulgaria. Was that? I missed who swung at that one. Happened so fast.
I think it's Atanasov, but even there, have a look at the speed. He just pops up behind his middle blocker, and that's that quick pipe that we talked about.
That's Nikolov, picked up by Camino. Masso wants to set this. He does for Jant, who drills it. Maybe that's where he wants the set. It's about 2 meters off the net.
Yeah, he starts to look more comfortable the worse the set is, it feels like. But and again, when you've got 3 blockers up, in particularly in that situation, when you have a bit of space from the net, then you can use those angles.
Masso just about got the payoff there. Cuba's got a chance here. Here's Masso, and he's shot down on the solo block by Atanasov.
That is something you don't see very often. The one-on-one, Masso had all the daylight down the line until he didn't. Atanasov doing a great job of being sneaky and disciplined.
That was nice. Langini trying to get the attention of his players in the front row to pass on a message here. Simon gets Cuba the ball back. And back within 2.
I wonder if that was the message. Get in front of Simon. He's probably getting the ball right now.
Maybe, maybe. Here's Jan. Good pick up from Bochelov. Jan wants this. Jan scores this. 1-point game.
It seems like Cuba don't have to have as good of a pass to run what they want to. They're such heavy hitters from the pins. Even this, way out of system. It's not even a full set. It's just a bump into the middle. And that's when they look the most comfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a good set for Marlon Jan. Just something around the net.
Hey, no problem, eh? Guardiamo avanti, no back, okay? You know, with snap ball, the ball is in 1. Concession is this is 5, and concession is 1 this. Stop. Attention, because when you are second line, the center comes, okay? Okay. Aggressive also with variation, eh? Not say, hey, Damian, don't go too much inside. In defense, you can defend 1 primo tempo. It's enough. Okay?
Unpack all that for us, Key, if you could.
Oh, I got you. I heard every word. Well, no, basically, that was mainly focused at blocking the middle. So Simon, for example, is someone who's going to attack the direction that he's looking. He's going to zone 5, which is basically usually the left side of the court, whereas Concepcion turns it back over his shoulder and goes back to zone 1, which is the right side of the court. So he's making sure the blockers get in the right spot.
Oh, that's good. You unpacked that well.
Let's pack it back in, though.
Well,
put a bow on it.
We talked about how sneaky Marlon Jan can be with his scoring. He now leads his team in scoring in the match. Atanasov, talk about the no-looky down the line.
Oh, we love a no-looky cookie. That's the perfect spot to go as well, because Nikolov's done a great job of holding the middle on the other side. One-on-one, you gotta use that line.
Here comes Moni. And there it is. There's the ace.
He's been waiting for it, and that wasn't even full power, but look at the spin on it. It's just kind of dropping through the air. Camino having to go chase it on his right side, and it looks like it's moving even further away from him as it goes.
Big challenge for Camino. See if they go right back at him again. He creates an he gives up an overpass. And Atanasov gets hands, and Moni Nikolov's going to serve again, now with a 4-point lead.
That's the perfect response by the team here. That free ball taken by Grozdanov, he doesn't risk it. He comes off the net, gives it right back to his setter. That keeps Nikolov at the line again.
So Cuba breathes a sigh of relief. The set's not gone yet. They're down by 3 with their leader, Robert Landy Simon, about to serve. He's got a 9-point game going already. Coach tells him to shake it off. He'll be back out on the floor in a second, but now the lead is 4 again. Martin Atanasov. Good serve. Giant, just get him the ball. Wherever he is, just get it to him.
100% if he's going to hit like that. Gomez does such a good job as well as of feeding those blockers in. Look, everybody is jumping with the middle, and it's a wide open net for Jan. That's a setter's ball. Setter's point, even.
Well, here comes another chance for a setter to get a point. Gomez. Nikolov tries to tip. This is going to be up off the net and under the net. So one of the feet of the Cuban players goes under the net, completely crossing the line.
Yeah, you can get away with it if your foot just touches the line or almost 3/4 of the way, but if your entire foot is over, that's when you'll get called. Your hands are fine though. You could go your entire body, but not the foot, and you can get away with it. Wild rule.
Simon watching on, hoping he gets to get back out there with a chance to fight for this set. All right, looks like we're ready to go again. Grozdanov. Good serve. Taken overhand by Camino. Gutierrez. Good dig. And then good block. The triple block for Cuba gets the point. And then a little chat through the net. Sometimes that'll happen.
Just such a good block. Nikolov going right into the meat of it as well. 3 people up there and he chooses Masso. I don't know that would be my first choice if I had 3 bodies to go against.
So net touch challenge from Bulgaria. Remember, 3 players went up to try to block that. Masso got the block, but could have been any one of the other ones who touched the net.
I'm just wondering what all the chatter was about. That was just a beautiful block, but again,
well, Masso stared through the net for even a second or so after. Yeah, you'll see it at the very end. Whether you.
That's well deserved though. If you block it like that. Heck yeah, you can get a little stare down.
So you can see him right at the very in the farthest right. He stared through the net for just a half a second.
That's wild. Compare that to hockey, where you could literally go up and smash someone over the head.
Your teammates, please turn around, okay? You know what I mean? Okay. It's a warning also for the player number 22. So, okay? Okay.
Gotta celebrate on your own side of the net, basically is what the referee's saying. One of those unique things about volleyball. Here comes Gutierrez, 17 serving 20. The middle attack wasn't what it was supposed to be, but it worked out anyway. The back row, that is.
I like the choice to use that backcourt attack there. Again, Monty not jumping, so he throws the blockers off a bit. Masso in a good spot, but again, the off speeds are what are really the Achilles heel of Cuba right now.
Tatarov. Oh, this is trouble for Cuba. Chance for Bulgaria to go up by 5. Good dig. Yant saves the day, or does that ball stay up? I don't know. That one's down. Concepcion makes sure the rally ends with a Cuban point.
What a defense, both sides. I'm not 100% sure about that ball, but we'll play on anyway. And there's what we're talking about with Concepcion. He turns that ball over his shoulder. So coach was reminding his blockers, that's the way you got to take away from Concepcion. And when Simon goes up, it's the complete opposite.
So Concepcion's been brilliant, but he's coming out anyway because Margarejo's going to serve. Mr. Consistency back there. Nikolov off hands, almost tracked down by Gutierrez, or at least Margarejo.
Beautiful work by Nikolov. Again, from out of system, 3 bodies up, goes higher this time. Last time got shut down by Masto because he went into the meat of the block.
Here's Alex Nikolov. What a serve. Nice pass, that is. Camino's going to send this over. Bulgaria, everybody available. The set was too tight, and it didn't work out because of the Cuban block.
The blocking has stepped up tenfold on Cuba's side, and even if they're not getting those straight down stuffs, they're really making Bulgaria change the way they swing, whether it be taking some speed off of it or looking for different areas of the block. That's what Cuba's been doing really well this set.
Yeah, Petkov couldn't believe it. We're tied at 1 set apiece, 3-point lead. Cuba trying to bite into it. Very much in the business end, and we've got a back row attack line violation here against Bulgaria, so that's a 2-point game now. That's a big difference.
That's a huge swing and a good time for Cuba. And those little errors here and there, both teams, they're stacking up.
Second timeout used by Bulgaria. Let's listen in to Gian Lorenzo Blangini.
Ricordatelo, okay? Hey, this side out, guys. This side out. Attention short, please. The net and the time of play. Middle blocker, if you are 1 against 1, don't go too much close to the net. Third angle.
Well, when that discussion was going on, I was also watching a side discussion on the Cuban side where Tundike
was having a long chat with Gomez, who's in as setter. So the 2 setters discussing strategy together. And Masso wishes he could have that one back.
Yeah, especially because there was no setter on court right then. There was just half of that double sub, meaning there was a bigger blocking lineup for Cuba. So that's the time to get that serve in and rely on that blocking lineup.
So Tundike is in the game right now. He'll be the setter for Cuba. And also is Jordan Bisset at opposite. So Pelov, Stoyl Pelov, who's listed as a setter, comes into serve. Bulgaria's got 3 setters listed. Tundike has to run this one down. Who's going to play it? It's going to be pushed over by Bisset. Tatarov and Robert Landy Simon, like he knew the play.
Yeah, he's seen that one before. Nikolov, you can see, making a little look there through the net to see. And Simon just read that. I feel like sometimes as a middle blocker, it's more just instinctual. You're not waiting, then watching to see what's happening. You're using your your spidey senses, and that's exactly what happened there for Simon.
Well, if you want someone on Cuba's serving in this situation, you might pick Marlon Yacht. Here he comes. Atanasov has to pull out the left hand, couldn't score it. Here's Alex Nikolov, he can. Set point Bulgaria, they've got 3 of them.
Simon had to work so hard to go from pin to pin there.
A little bit of confusion right now on the floor. Looks like a timeout has been called by Cuba.
ataque eso. Hemos tenido la posibilidad de varios contraataques con un solo bloqueo y no logramos hacer la pelota, no logramos meter. Nosotros hacemos los K1, metemos los contraataques que tenemos y no hemos tenido la diferencia. Apretamos a jugar después siempre al final del set.
Oni Nikolov had an ace earlier in the set. Let's see what he can do here. 3 set points for Bulgaria. And good leave there by Camino. I have to say about Camino, the starting setter for Cuba this week, their normal setter, Yonder Roman Garcia, has played every single game and has only come out for a couple of moments. He's not with the team this week. So Brian Camino getting that start. Did a pretty solid job. 22 serving 24. Simon. Good serve, yes! It's gonna be over on a free ball though. Tandike across for Gutierrez. Bulgaria scrambling, another free ball. Can Cuba finally finish? You betcha. Bisset gets it done.
Yeah, if Cuba show anything, it's that they can come back from a deficit. They can fight against anyone, so Bulgaria cannot take for granted that this set is done.
Simon. Taken by Bozhelov well. That allows the middle attack. But Simon was ready with the dig. Here comes Bulgaria again. Tatarov gets it done. And the set goes to Bulgaria just like set number 1, 25-23, and they're in the lead, 2-1.
Looking back on the stats again, it's pretty much rinse and repeat from set number 1. The service pressure from Cuba was not there. 0 aces compared to 5 errors. Almost exactly what we saw in set number 1, those 5 errors then leading to 9 total errors given up, but they just, the ratio was off. They weren't putting enough pressure on Bulgaria to take their offense out of it. One thing that was working really well, though, Bulgaria, here's where they were blocking along the net. 5 in the middle, 2 on the outside, and 1 on the right side. All of this happening in set number 3. Nothing much happening in the middle. It's pretty much to the pins, but Cuba have 10 blocks overall, and in that set they had 4. That was one of the strengths. Even though they didn't get those aces, they were still at least getting their blockers in good positions. But one of the other things I noticed in set number 3, we talked about Bulgaria needing to have someone else step up. Nikolov came back to the party with 5 points, but Atanasov had 7 points, so he was relatively quiet in the first couple of sets. I don't think he was even playing. And then that's the piece of the puzzle that then comes back to put up some offense.
Yeah, Bulgaria is showing that they've got some bench players who can make a difference for sure. Well, we have certainly seen Cuba answer the bell previous times this year. They have gone 5 against Brazil and Ukraine and Argentina. Let's see if they can make this one go the distance.
Question as well is, how does Bulgaria maintain this? Because we saw them go to some of those off-speed shots, tips, rolls. Those can catch a team off guard. But if Cuba now start to pick those up, do we have another different match on our hands?
Right. Game time, set number 4. Bob Snook alongside Key Michael with Matt Prosser, live and in person in Gdańsk at the Ergo Arena. And Bulgaria starts the way they ended the 3rd set with a point, and they're up by 1.
Tatarov was another one of the players that's gone a little bit quiet in that 3rd set. Of course, Tanisov and Nikolov stepping it up, but I like them going back to him immediately.
Good serve by Grozdanov. Good high swing from Masso. He now has 13 points to lead his team in scoring.
Off the hands, great slowdown by Nikolov. He's turning around thinking that ball's up, because in terms of middle or blocking, that's a great touch.
Here's Gutierrez taking his time, lining it up, and then taking a little off it. Middle attack from Petkov.
That was almost like a 1.5 speed. So high in the air. Petkov does a great job of just hanging up there, waiting.
Sometimes I feel like I'm at half speed, so 1.5 speed sounds pretty impressive. Gutierrez thought maybe he could dive and use his feet to get that one. Not a bad idea, but no. This is an important next point here. Cuba does not want to go down 4-1. Georgi Tatarov. Good up from Camino. Good down from Concepcion.
And it's rinse and repeat again and again. And now you can't unsee it, right? That every time Concepcion goes up to attack, he turns it back over his shoulder in the direction, the right back of court. Blockers can cut that off.
Is he seeing them in his peripheral? Like, could he change if he saw them?
He probably could, but that's been his preference. Right. So if he just keeps on doing what he's done, you've got to make an adjustment as the blockers. You have to recognize that, take away his preference, force him to go the other way and see. Because he might not be comfortable there.
Here's Alex Nikolov. We know what he can do from the end line. Here's Jan. Former teammates with Nikolov. Good up. And Masso almost had a chance to do something with it, but no.
Skarhov, seeing himself on the big screen, just turned around and said, nah.
Yeah, there's multiple big screens here in this wonderful facility, the Ergo Arena. Big throw way ahead of him, and that's going to produce an ace for Alex Nikolov.
And Damian Kolev with the cheeky little, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? And no.
Vamos, 1, 2, 3. Vamos a levantar la pelota, está duro el saque, vamos a dejarlo arriba, vamos a dejarlo arriba.
Well, that time it wasn't so much about strategy talk from Jesus Coz, it was just about a reset. Pretend the scoreboard is 0-0. Here we go.
Great work by our camera crew against these slow-mo shots. They look good.
Here's Nikolov. One ace in the game. Nice pickup from Camino right on the head of the setter. Good reaction. And good catch by Ilya Petkov. Nicely caught.
Simone saying, not on my net, buddy. Talk about a veteran move. Again, Simone at 38 and Nikolov just 18. 20-year career difference.
Pressure by Cuba at the net. Tenisov kept up by Simone. Giant, oh, good reaction. Bulgaria comes again. Masso ready for it. Slapped in by Simone. Oh, the points are coming fast and furious for number 13 in untraditional ways.
Great heads-up play there. Defense kind of scooping it up, going again. Masso, now we talked about that. He's reading that ball that a couple minutes ago might have fallen.
He sets it up for Atanasov. Triple block, shuts it down. Is that Simone again? His third straight point? Might have been.
He is in the thick of it in this set.
So, a 1-point lead now. That's all that's in it. The Bulgaria timeout is what they decide is necessary.
Oh, guys, no problem, eh? Not in the middle block. Okay? If you can replay and replay back or well, it's not a problem. Okay? We are ready to play long action. They must have something different, and we are seeing they are pushing with service because it's not enough short because we are ready. Now after timeout, attention to read the service short.
Let's see if the coach was accurate in his prediction. Will Masso go short on this? 5 serving 6. Pretty good serve, pretty good pass. Oh, they scramble it over, but Moni Nikolov is all over that ball and slams it down.
Yeah, Moni Nikolov is always up for an attack. He loves getting part of the offense, but here's what we talked about the defensive prowess right now of Cuba. Those really awkward, uncomfortable balls, they're getting something on them.
Yeah, Robert Landy Simon was pretty quick reacting as well and almost got a hand on that. Good keep up by Bulgaria. They're going to attack with Alex Nikolov. And he's just missed it. And Nikolov saying to his coach, yeah, I don't know if there's a touch on that.
Well, Simone turned around immediately, shaking his hand, saying, no touch from me.
And we know that players are always honest, 100% of the time.
Always, yeah.
So Jan was going for it, missed it. See if he can catch fire again here. Moni's got an ace already in the match.
Goes for the change up there. Typically we'll see him go hard driven topspin. That one just converts it, but at the last minute tries to make it into a float.
Simone has as many points as he has on his jersey, 13. Bit of trouble on serve received. Nikolov sends it up to the net, and the blocking is too good from Concepcion.
And that's the second time we've seen Moni Nikolov take the first ball. I don't understand why someone else can't step in and get that. Even if it's a middle blocker or the opposite, you definitely don't want the setter taking it because then it's trouble from there on out.
Yeah. Well, and both times it was when Robert Landy Simon was serving.
Well, there you go.
Let's see if he aims it right over in that department again. Oh. Oh, everybody looking up at the referee who's looking down at her tablet, and then she signals it's out.
That was so close. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
By a pinky finger.
Wow. Here's Martin Atanasov. And he's got an ace. Oh my. That one was in by about that much.
Totally different directions though. Atanasov looking for the end line. That's always a great decision. The defenders have to make a choice whether to play it or not.
This time he's going for the sideline. He misses it. Sigh of relief for Cuba. Down a point. They're in the battle. Julio Gomez. Best server in the Slovenian league this past season. Good serve there. Up from Jan. That was a good touch, but Concepcion gets shut down through the middle. We haven't said that very often.
Yeah, the blocker is starting to figure it out. So that time he's pulled a little bit further to the other side of the court. So maybe now he's looking for zone 5 and they're in a good spot.
Goes down off. Good serve again. Masso. Scrambled up by Bulgaria, pushed over with 2 hands by Nikolov. The 1-hand set from Gomez, kicked up by Petkov. Kept alive. Cuba comes again. That time, Concepcion! Oh my goodness!
Man, he is so good in the offense. First of all, scrappy play by both teams to keep it alive. But as soon as it's a free ball, and you can see the libero stepping into taking it, Concepcion, especially when he's running in that direction, he loves to go back towards that zone 1. I think that's the difference. You got to watch his approach as to where he wants to go.
Gutierrez brings the fire on that one. Nice pickup from Bulgaria at Atanasov. And then they can't get it over the net from Alexander Nikolov.
Nikolov struggling again, just kind of like what we saw in set number 2. He's only got 1 point this whole set so far.
11-11 here in the 4th. Almost gathered in by Gomez. The effort was marvelous. Just ran out of real estate.
Great hustle, great defensive move. You'll love to see it, never giving up on it.
Tatarov serve is a floater just over the net. Here's Masso block. Camino comes up with it. Nice. Here's Yant. And he's missed it. And there's no touch. And Cuba saying, yes, there is. And they are challenging.
Looking pretty confident in the challenge as well. Going over to ask immediately. Not even waiting for the coach to ask. Just going directly up to the referee and saying, yeah, there's a touch there.
Nikolov, I think, is said to Jan, 2 former teammates with Lube Civitanova, that he did touch it. I don't know. It seems like that was part of the discussion, but
surely if anyone would be honest about it, it'd be a former teammate.
yeah. No fingers, but you could feel the wind for sure. You could just feel it grazing.
Yeah.
Here's Concepcion. 12 points in the game for number 5. Cuba serving better this set. Good block, but recycled by Bulgaria. They come again with Nikolov. Good pickup from Concepcion. Jant gets shut down. The triple block of Bulgaria rises to the challenge.
A little bit of impatience creeping in there. Jant surely recognizing that he's got 3 blockers in front of him. Hoping his team's gonna recycle that, but no one in sight.
That was the 3rd block point of the match for Moni Nikolov. Gomez is going to set up Jant. Kept alive by Tatarov. Here comes Bulgaria with the back row attack from Nikolov. This time he's read perfectly by Jant and Simon.
Testing the bottom of the Cuban block. That's not where you want to swing. Nikolov surely knows it, but there's just way too much strength in those shoulders on the Cuban side.
Simon has 5 block points in the match. Masso, not what he was gunning for. Ilya Petkov, here he comes. Big swing coming. And middle attack brewing, and 14 points for Simon.
Yeah, Simon definitely could turn that back the other direction if he wants, but especially when he's pushed a little bit from the setter like that, his body's already open in that direction. He can see that clear channel.
Jant. Out of system, bump set, and Alex Nikolov shut down. Oh, but they're saying the ball was out. I think Cuba thought it hit one of the Bulgarian players on the way back down.
I thought in real time it might have as well. Simon backing away so he doesn't get caught up in a conversation about it.
Maybe not. There's Moni Nikolov ready to go. His team up by a point. Trying to finish off the match in 4 sets. Oh, this is trouble. It'll be a free ball over from Gutierrez. Middle attack. Oh, the old chest bump from Camino. And Gutierrez scores it off the block. Let's give that point to Camino.
Are you kidding me? Camino just stepping into it with his chest. I mean, that is sacrificing your body, and Cuba have been so good defensively, even against a free ball. They get the point. That's great work.
Simon getting ready to serve. Blengini reminding his players where the serve might go, so Simon goes somewhere else. He misses, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, not by much, but there's that error ratio. 0 aces, 5 errors in this set for Cuba.
Tanisov, who plays in the Turkish league. Nice pass from Jant, and then he absolutely pummels it as he goes for a visit to Bulgaria's side of the net.
I don't know if he was welcome over there, to be completely honest, especially after a swing like that. But Jant does such a good job of looking at the block. Again, he's got so much range. He could go left or right every time he's in the air.
Gomez. Good swing there from Grozdanov in the middle. And he loved the set, I think, from Moni, who didn't love the celebration quite as much. Cuba on the back foot a little bit here. Bulgaria's got a chance to attack with Tatarov. 2 hands to the ground.
Yeah, those are the ones. Cuba struggles to pick up those off-speed shots, so for Tatarov, if it's not in his wheelhouse, absolutely throw it all day long.
Captain Grozdanov. Gutierrez gets Cuba back within a point.
Gutierrez kind of just popping up behind. The blockers all kind of shifting towards where the middle blocker on Cuba's side has gone.
Gutierrez now from the end line, bringing the heat. And the block is good, and the ball is down on the Bulgaria side. Masso and Concepcion. You got two middles basically working together.
Yeah, double the pleasure, double the middles. I mean, that is such a tough block to go up against. And Masso, look at the vision on him. He is basically his chin, his shoulders, his chest over the net, still eyes open.
18-18. Nicely done through the middle, and Petkov.
Great change of direction from Petkov. Again, I like that both teams are starting to use their middle a little bit more. Monty gives him plenty of height to work with.
Tatarov. Good job by Gutierrez. It's going to be scrambled back to the net. And good save by Masso. Play goes on, and now it is blown down as the ball came across the net outside the antenna. Referee took a moment. I think she had to make sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to call it too early. We've seen a couple of calls where it's effectively a point given to the other team, but erased because a whistle was called too early.
Timeout call, Cuba. Long chat there with head coach Jesus Cruz of Cuba and his setter, Julio Gomez. Wants to make sure that the right plan is in place here. Cuba trying to play to its strengths. Bulgaria trying to play to its. 20 serving 18. Concepcion gets fed through the middle, scores another one. Give him 13 points. Wow, the middles are piling up the points here. Simon's got 14, Concepcion 13.
And there's an answer to your question. Can he hit zone 5? Yeah, absolutely.
Cuba makes this regular substitution with Magarejo coming in to serve. And the blocking, a little service pressure, and then Simon and Yant. I think Robert Landy got all that.
Blocking has been elite by Cuba this entire match. They're already racked up 15, and 6 of them in this set alone. If the service isn't working in terms of getting those aces, at the very least, they're getting Bulgaria to swing into the block.
Stay much more inside. Take the ball high before decide where to spike. Okay? No problem. Guys, point by point. Like as from the first ball. Okay? This side out, and after this.
Well, didn't hear any panic in Coach Blangini. No problem, he said.
Yeah, well, they've still got a 2-point or 2-set cushion, I should say. So even if they don't win this set, they still can push to a 5th, whereas for Cuba, it's must win.
Magarejo. And again, the blocking. It's going to be pushed over. Free ball chance for Cuba. Simon. And that is just out. Good lead by Masso.
Oh yeah, he was playing with his food there. He knew all along that ball was not going in, but you love the little bit of drama to go with it.
There's the attack. No, just kidding. 1-point lead, Cuba. Still Magarejo serving. And That almost never happens. He is so consistent, and even that almost found its way over.
Yeah, but again, I keep going back to this balance between aces and errors. 0-6 now, just in this set alone for Cuba.
Nikolov, capable of big serves himself. Takes something off that. Bumped up by Simon. Jant, we know what he can do with an out-of-system ball. Just like that.
I mean, there is no system when it's Jant going up to swing. It literally does not matter if it's coming from over his shoulder, behind him, left side, right side, bump set from Simone. Inside the court, he does not care. He's off the net by 2 feet, still takes a big rip.
Setter on the floor right now for Cuba. Bisset is in the front row. Quick middle attack, and that's exactly what Bulgaria going for. Petkov nails it.
And here's the danger now, because Cuba's been missing so many serves, they have to take a little bit of heat off it. Masso kind of maybe puts just a roll shot in, and it's a perfect pass, and you know Moni can use and will use his middle in that spot.
Right now there'll be 2 setters on the floor for Bulgaria, including the man about to serve, Stoyopalev. Jant from the right side, never mind, he can score from there, of course he can. 23-22.
Jant versus one blocker is a recipe for Cuba getting a point. I mean, even perfectly placed, that's a good push by Atanasov, but there's just way too much space for him to go there.
Marlon Jant trying to give his team set point here in the 4th. Good serve. Atanasov from well off the net, and he's gonna score. Smart.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Atanasov recognizing that this is where Cuba's struggle is, in those off-speed plays. 2 of the players pulling their hands, 1 of them not, and then it's just dribbling off.
23-23. Moni Nikolov. Oh, well, somebody was going to get set point, and it's Cuba. We go from the youngest player on the court to the most senior player on the court for serving in Robert Landy Simon. Moni takes it again. He's hit Moni Nikolov again, but this time Bulgaria out of system, attacks and scores with Atanasov.
That's a huge point for Bulgaria. You called it. The setter was taken out for the 3rd time in this match. Out of system play, Atanasov has 3 bodies in front of him, and there's just enough space there to sneak through.
And again, it was, who did it? It was Simon. 24-24. And it's an ace, Atanasov, back-to-back points.
Watch the spin on this. Camino just, he's given up that line. Atanasov says, yeah, I'll take that.
Atanasov, let's see where he goes this time. Taken by Jant. And Bisset just rips it off the block to give his team a point, and we're tied at 25s.
I love the decision to set Bisset there, because he hasn't gotten a lot of offense, so you wouldn't expect that ball to go him. You've got Concepcion over there, you've got Jant in the backcourt. The blockers were certainly paying more attention to them.
Well, I don't know why, but Cuba hasn't looked at Lopez on the bench at all, so he must not. He does have his jacket off finally. Here's Gomez. 25-25. Blocking again. Masso Concepcion get the point for Cuba.
Middles on Cuba's side. That is a huge block to try and get through. And again, Nikolov trying to power through it. Is that the right choice?
They both got a piece of that one, too. Here's Gomez, set point, Cuba. And that's how the set's gonna end, with another block by Cuba. Concepcion seals it, and we're going to 5, 27-25 Cuba.
How do you like the block party for Cuba? And it's been a few different people every single time. This time Gutierrez getting the majority of it, but for 8 blocks, and for what I was saying about the aces and errors, if you're gonna block like that, it doesn't matter.
We got a challenge here, and the way Cuba's come back on the floor, was there a net touch? We're waiting to hear what the challenge is about.
Yeah, Cuba has come all the way back onto court as if they're ready to keep playing. Challenge for net touch. Bulgaria want to see if that was a clean finish by the Cuban blockers. You just wonder if they're clutching at straws here.
That'll be interesting to see what the video shows us.
And Gutierrez, that looks like the face of a guilty player, if I'm honest.
Maybe.
Doesn't look fully confident.
Well, he probably knows he touched the net. Did he touch the net? Was the ball on the ground when he touched it? That could be.
Gotcha, yeah. We've had a couple of those already today.
We have.
I mean, the guys are just hitting so hard into this block.
No.
I don't see it, yeah. Clean as a whistle. Cuba firing through.
Wow. What a block party that was. Now 18 block points in the match. And they had 8 of them, 8-2. And I think you pointed that out a couple minutes ago, the discrepancy, but wow.
I mean, it's worth looking at and worth repeating, because here's a look at those numbers overall. The blocking on Cuba's side was there, the serving was not. And we talked about how when they're not serving and getting those points from that serve, they have to get it from somewhere else. It was their block.
Yeah, I would say their serving wasn't as bad as earlier.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as good as other times earlier.
Yeah, they're all or nothing. They're aces or errors. I thought something that Bulgaria did really well was figuring out when to go with those off-speed rolls and shots, though, because of how well the block is working, they were figuring something out, and that's what kept them in that set. I mean, they had the advantage most of that set.
Yeah, we could make a whole video package of Robert Landy-Simon serving and catching Moni Nikolov as he's trying to come into the setting position. To his credit, at least he's played the ball that one of his teammates could get it up. Like, he didn't shank it.
Yeah, that were those two right there at the net that you saw on that graphic. But it's unusual because you just don't see, even if it's a really short serve like that, usually someone else will come in and try and step in, but Moni just trusting his team to do the setting.
Now we go to 15, so it's a sprint. So if one team gets their serves going early, that could give them a bit of a buffer.
On Bulgaria's side, it was pretty much rinse and repeat from what we saw in that set before, where we were asking who was going to step up. Atanasov and Nikolov both having better set fours, but just not enough to get over the line.
Well, we mentioned back in 2023, we flashed back before the game. These two teams met in the Volleyball Nations League, and that was in France. It went 5 sets. It went past 15. It was 18-16 that Cuba won. And in that match, there were 212 points scored, and only 2 separated them. Cuba scored 2 more points in the entire match.
Wow. I mean, they're so well balanced. You can really see it when they're starting to play their style of volleyball. You can tell why it's going back and forth. Again, both teams kind of high error at the moment in different areas. But if Bulgaria go back to that sort of off-speed, those rolls that we're working, they will have success. And if Cuba go back to serving tough in the court, they'll have success.
Right. What if they both do it? What if they both have their best? I mean, that's what we all hope as fans, that they both have their best success. I guess usually one team's success is another team's failure.
Well, then we'll probably go to 30, 40 points. We'll be here all night, and Poland will never get to play it on.
That's right. That will be happening, I suppose. All right. Here we go. Set number 5. Bulgaria serving Cuba. Atanasov. Good up from Jan. Masso cross court. They're going to scramble this over. Masso couldn't finish it. Simon pulls his hands out of the way. He's doing the setting for Jan, who's blocked. Bulgaria waiting with the triple block, and Tatarov comes down with it.
Clever move by Bulgaria to send 3 blockers out there. There was really only one direction that ball was going to go. Great read.
Again, 2 players got a piece of that. Grosdanov as well. Tarov. Gomez bumps it up for Masso, who gets blocked, and it's in! Oh, mistake, says the referee. No, the ball is out, and it is point Cuba. Oh my.
And Masso was already walking back to the end line to go serve.
Referee just saying, oh, the technology was right, I was wrong. No big deal. Doesn't hit Masso on the way back, and it's out.
Yeah, that's clearly out. Not even close. Not even worth a discussion.
Not even close to being close. So guess what? We're tied. Ones are wild. One is serving, 1-1. One does the setting. Gomez puts it up for Diant. Tries the power tip. Moni sets up his brother, and that's going to score for Bulgaria. They're up 2-1.
Well handled. A good work by Bulgaria to switch their heads on after they had all been discussing that last point. It's really important to get out of that quickly, get the side out, and Nikolov, even from floating backwards, gets underneath Simon. Might be getting under his skin, too.
So you didn't see it on camera, but Grosdanov set up in one spot to serve and then quickly ran across to the other side to serve. And Cuba says, it matters not when we set the ball to Simon in the middle. Two-two. It sets 2-2 in points. Marlon Jan. Middle attack from Petkov is just too quick and too hot to handle.
Both teams having a lot more success with their middle, the passing better as the match has gone on, allowing both setters to use them.
Masso wants this. He sends it across for Gutierrez. Oh, nice pickup from Atanasov. Cuba's going to come again with the middle and Simon. How do you stop that? Come on.
I mean, Bulgaria did a good job of getting Cuba out of system in the first place, so he wasn't available in that first swing. But then as it comes back a little softer, a little easier, Simon is just available every single time, and you have to jump with him almost at the same time if you want to slow him down.
All right, let's see where he puts this serve. Moni's in a spot where there's no way he's going to play it. Nikolov, that's as in Alexander Nikolov scores.
He still shot that ball short, though, didn't he? In that corner, in that zone 2 spot where Nikolov, Moni could have been the one to pass it.
There's Alex Nikolov. leads the match in scoring with 21 points. Whoa. Nobody even wanted to pass that ball. They were hoping it went out, and it did.
Yeah.
We interviewed Alex in Quebec about a month ago after they had taken a set off of Italy but lost the match. And I said, well, you took a set off Italy. And he said, we're not here to take sets. We're here to win matches. And they have won some big matches this year. And they're trying to win another one. And they're still in contention, very much so.
I love that mentality. You have to, even if you're a team like Bulgaria that's still kind of on the rise, they're trying to prove themselves every time they step on the court.
Good up from Camino. Concepcion manages to squeeze that one down at the feet of the blockers.
I'm trying to think back on the win prediction in the beginning of this set, beginning of this match, but I feel like these two teams, the last 10 times they've met, it's gone 5 one way, 5 the other, so they're certainly well matched.
Here's Gutierrez. Alex Nikolov gets a touch on the block. Marlignac put his hand up, said, yep.
Just dribbles it through the hands.
He might have been able to get away with that one.
Called it himself.
Here's Moni. Camino tracks this ball down, gets it up to the net. Yacht, though, gets shut down. Atanasov all over it with the triple block.
Big play for Bulgaria to get this break point here. Starts with a tough serve. Camino having to rush to bring it back. And yeah, even though we know he loves to take a big swing from off the net, that ball's coming over his shoulder behind him. He doesn't have the court vision to see where the block is.
Saque que da tiempo, tiene altura, nos da tiempo movernos. Lo que hay que aparece para coger y vamos a tirarle en medio del terreno y cambiamos la pelota. Vamos hasta el medio y cambiamos la pelota. Vamos. Vamos, 1, 2, 3.
It's always fun to have a 5-setter on day one of match day one, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like on one of these weeks we had 3 of them. That was a lot.
Oh, yeah. On those 3 match days.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Because everybody comes into that first day with the best scouting report, the freshest bodies.
Yep.
Here comes Moni Nikolov. His team up by 2 on the way to 15 in the 5th. And they wanted to give it back to Jan just to restore the confidence in case any was lost.
I doubt any was lost.
No.
He's been performing all match long. That's his 18th point. Does a great job scoring for Cuba anytime they ask him.
The other good news for Cuba is that Simon is back in the game in the front row. Tatarov is shut down by guess who? Simon.
Yeah, you called it. That is something Bulgaria have to pay attention to, and you don't want to swing too far across. I mean, again, testing Masso, they were denied earlier on. You got to figure out where that seam is, or maybe go back to those tips and rolls, but swinging hard, driven cross into Simon, that's not it.
7-7. Here's Concepcion. Aye. Aye, aye, aye. Not what they were going for.
Concepcion had 4 aces in their loss to Argentina. Hasn't really been in that form just yet.
Denisov. Yant. And I couldn't see from my angle if it was Simon or Masso who tipped it down.
They might have both got a piece of it.
And we're getting a challenge here.
That looks clean to me on the second play. You have to touch the ball when it's still on your side. You're allowed to reach over eventually, but you have to take the ball initially on your side.
Right.
That's what I saw.
Start the contact on your side, and then you can follow through. Yeah, okay, I get you.
That's what it looked like from that angle that we saw. We'll get another look at it because absolutely Bulgaria might as well have a challenge. They've got 2 of them to use. We're already at 8-8.
What a treat, though, we have been given here with Robert Landy Simon coming back into the Cuba lineup. He's got 19 points.
He's a beast.
Including 6 blocks.
Unsuccessful, no surprise there, but you're exactly right. How about the middle blocker being the top scorer for Cuba right now? And we talked about how pin heavy they are and how they love those out of system swings. It's a totally different team when Simon's back here.
Yeah, he was talking about how he got hurt last year early in the VNL. Did come back and play, but it was never really he didn't have the same impact. And last year the VNL was so important for Cuba as they tried to qualify for Paris via that route. Service error gives it right back to Bulgaria, and they lead by 1. The ball in the hands of their captain, Alex Grozdanov. Taken overhand by Simon. Oh my, Jant. Tandike is setting right now for Cuba.
I feel like Jant and Simon physically quite similar, both obviously playing different positions, but in terms of their attack and their strength and their speed.
That was just a straight out setter substitution. Let's listen to the timeout here.
After timeout, to check Madrid, the short service. After this, check Jant with perfect ball. Remember the end of the past set, okay? Okay, with perfect ball, particularly with Simon, but also with Concepcion. The pipe of Marlon, Jant, okay? And now is the moment to play with libero in reception, okay, to serve on libero. And listen, attention, please, the timing in high ball, because they play middle timing.
By the way, I got to correct myself here. So it was a double substitution. Bisset is into the game for Cuba and Tandiki. Get ready for something short. Coach Blengini said here from Jant. And it goes off the block, and there's nobody behind it collecting.
Great courage by Nikolov to swing into Simon. We talked about that maybe not being the best route. He gets a little bit of space between the hands. Some luck there.
See if they serve it at Camino. He takes it well. And then the back row attack. Didn't the coach also warn about that?
That was pretty much exactly what he talked about. Hey, a good ball, pay attention because they're gonna run the middle to hold you, and then the pipe's gonna come firing through. Yeah, just like the coach wrote it up.
Well, they're challenging whether it was a foot fault or not from John.
Not sure what that conversation was about, but
something about if there's a 50-50 ball. I don't know. I didn't quite catch the rest of it. Well, those beautiful orange shoes that we talked about earlier on, they gave us a good view that they were behind the attack line.
Oh, that was the second challenge for Bulgaria, so maybe that was the conversation. Hey, if something's questionable, please make sure you challenge it yourself from here on out if we don't get this right.
All right, important serve. That's a really important point by you, by the way, but here's an important serve from Robert Landy Simon. Boom, down the line nicely by Georgi Tatarov.
Tatar's been stepping up in certain moments. You don't see him for a while, and then he gets something like that. I mean, that is a pretty much perfection on the line, and the way Cuba's been blocking, that's a bold swing.
So we get a bold serve here from Alex Nikolov. Oh, yeah. Bisset, and he nails the corner. Might have got a finger on the way he did.
Off in corner. That was Tondike that threw that up, but again, using Bisset when he hasn't been utilized very often. Yeah, there he gets the fingertips. A lot of variety on this Cuban offensive side.
So Bisset came in, did his job, as did Tondike. They're both on the bench. Here comes Gomez. He'll be setting again. Moni took a quick look behind him, sets it up for Petkov. He scores through the middle.
You can tell Cuba have taken a little bit of speed off their serve. They're not trying to make those errors. And there's the look you talked about, just knowing exactly what's going on the other side, Mancini. That's why he trusts his setter so much.
Here's Petkov. Good up from Jan. He wants this. It's going to go the other way for Masso. And they're going to call this on a lift. Referee saying it's her judgment call. Bulgaria disagrees with all 5-6 players on the floor.
We got to take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 touches. I don't know what they're arguing. Surely they know that that's more than 3 touches. See, now Bulgaria's doing a good job of slowing the game down. The momentum is on Cuba's side after that swing.
Well, they've asked her to challenge, but she's completely up to her discretion if she wants to challenge. They've used up their challenges.
They'll watch it back on tape and they'll recognize, but she's trying to slow things down, I think.
All right, she's happy with the call. 12-12. Here's Gutierrez. Let's watch and listen. You could tell from the sound that the speed was incredible, but it was a miss.
And that one had a little bit extra weight in on it. I feel after Bulgaria's arguing, you've got to force them to play that ball.
Just as Moni was getting ready to serve, timeout called Cuba.
Ojo con el híbrido buscando la zona 6-1. Es tirar la pelota al centro y cambiarla, señores. Todo el mundo en función de apoyar el balón. Todo el mundo en función de apoyar la pelota. Es importante hacer este punto. Vamos, 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 vamos,
Coming down to the wire here. 13 serving 12. Bulgarians put the ball in the hands of their 18-year-old superstar setter. Just was the best player in the U.S. college system at Long Beach State. Incredible moments just like these. What will he do here? Goes with the float. Jant. And the more out of system it is, the better he is.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, even that was a great serve by Moni to get Cuba way out of sorts, but Jant just does not care. He sees the 3 blockers, and he's at the 3-meter line there. There's so much space between him and the net, but he's more comfortable there, it feels like.
Simon's back in the game. Magarejo is getting ready to serve. He was expecting Bulgaria to call a timeout, and they oblige.
Hey. Remember one important thing, okay? If you decide for any reason to replay, remember that first in cover are you. Don't push. If you push out for point, no problem. But if you push to replay, don't push and go out. Replay.
know if I'm the only one notices it, but there's that extra camera in the huddles that gives you that beautiful field of vision.
I was just thinking that. We have our microphone in as well, and then our cameras do such a great job getting in there. So
Cinematic.
Kudos to them.
Yeah.
Magarejo. And it is out, and it is point Cuba, and Cuba says no touch. Bulgaria has no challenges left.
Oh, that's by not very much.
It is match point Cuba. Bulgaria has already used up its challenges and been wrong twice. That's why they lose them. Asniel Magarejo, the 25-year-old serving specialist these days for Cuba. Kept alive, Cuba, a chance to finish it with Giant, and it's over! Cuba comes out on top with the victory in 5 sets. Celebrations for the Caribbean Kings.
That was a huge team effort for Cuba. It did not come easy, especially in that 5th